Kids. Oh, kids, we're back on air. Is it on air? I don't know. Whatever, YouTube. We are doing a crack repair on this Gibson L-00 Studio acoustic guitar. There's a fracture right there. I can show you the fracture right here through the microscope. Here you can see focus, so you can still see the fracture. Zoom in here a little bit, a little more light. Focus, yeah. And when you zoom out, you can barely see it. As you can see, it's already closed off because I did rehumidify the guitar already, so it closed off. So now we need to repair it. But you know what? I just realized I forgot to send the link to the customer so he can watch me repair his guitar. So this is already, I think, part 4 or 5 of this series. And we don't have an audience yet, so this gives me a couple of minutes to mentally get ready and also to send the link to the customer. Okay. I just do a copy and paste. I told him it's going to be on Wednesday. Yeah. For a good reason. Not going to get into this now because we just got to get going. So we have glue. Let me show you. So what I have here is a container with warm water, okay? Not boiling hot, just warm. And I have a little container like this, as you can see. I can float it. And this is fish glue. So I'm going to put a decent amount because I don't want it to dry up. But we are not going to use nearly as much. It's just if you put a really small amount, it tends to dry up quickly. So now it's floating. So when you use this type of glue, protein glue, when you warm it up, you see now it's not balanced. I got to put some in this corner here. Otherwise, it'll tip over. Okay. So these types of glues, is glues plural of glue, I guess. They get less viscous when you warm them up. So this is why I'm doing it, right? So this is my hot bath. I'm not really controlling the temperature. It's just, yeah. And it seems like we have an audience right here. Yeah. Oh, Dr. Dan Cruz is in the house. Hello, Doctor. Just to go over a few things here. We have these cleats that I'm going to be using, the Thompson, TJ Thompson, yeah, TJ. I think it's TJ Thompson cleats, yeah. So here, okay, so this is the guitar. I did put a humidifier here because it's kind of dry here. So this is a loaded humidifier. Like I said, the fracture is here. You can barely see it, which means we're going to have a hard time putting the glue into the fracture, which means it's going to be a weak glue joint because I have to dilute the glue with water as well. I'm going to put some water, dilute it, and we're going to force it into the crack. It is absolutely essential that the hands are very clean. Otherwise, you put dirt into the crack, it's going to be more visible. And I washed my hands well before this. And here we have these cleats. I have a whole bunch of them, as you can see. But basically what they are these strips of spruce. And they're cut, how should I say this, at an angle. So these are the growth rings going in this direction at a, it's not really a 45-degree angle, but you know, something close to 45 degrees. And that's going to go underneath. And I already prepped this clamping caul that's going to go inside with the cleats. So what I'm using here is rubber cement. All right, I will repeat all this in a moment as I get ready, because other people will join, obviously, and I also want to put the camera inside. So right now, I just want to protect the headstock a little bit here, because I'm gonna put it against the corner. All right, make sure I don't spill the water. And here I have this camera that goes inside, the guitar endoscopy we're doing today. Okay, like that. And that gets displayed on my phone. Oh, and you know what? I need to silence my phone. Yeah, do not disturb. There you go. There were quite a few phone calls today. I had to deal with a lot of interruptions. Okay, so that's that. And we have a light. Okay, so I practiced dry runs of this, and maybe that's too intense. Let me see. We don't need quite this much light, so let's see. All right. Okay, I'm just setting up the camera here. And I gotta flip the image, and now we see it the proper way, the right way. This always takes a little time to prep. But I'm glad that we have this equipment. What would we do without this? Well, we would just work, you know, by feel. All right, let's see who else is in the house. We have 3 viewers. Yeah, you are number 1, Dr. Dan Cruz. And obviously, I'm going to show you what I see here through this camera. I think there's a way to mirror this image directly. Maybe I should have done that. Hold on a second. Let me see. Let me check. Bear with me, please. Yeah, I can mirror this, I think. It's happening. I think it's happening. I lost the app. No, here it is. Okay, and now, for whatever reason, the aspect ratio is off. That's annoying. And it's flipped also. Yeah, I don't know. Is it worth it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but now I have 2 ways of displaying it, except that it shows it flipped. So maybe if I flip it again, Now I lost the connection. This USB connector on this, well, it's actually a lightning connector, isn't too good. Okay, so we won't be doing mirroring. I have to just do the job, okay? So forget about mirroring. Let me disconnect it. Stop mirroring. All right, tap, tap, and tap. So now, obviously, the whole camera position is wrong. I should have left it. This is a dual camera endoscope. And I'm using the side camera right now to capture the good view. I don't know if you guys hear the music. There's a lot of screaming. I don't know what you call that type of music. Okay, I think this is fairly decent. Okay, now I won't touch it anymore. Okay, so the camera is going to capture my screen here. And video, I can even record it if I want to. And maybe I will. Well, kids, this is a live stream, and this is what it takes to get the job done. And I'm doing two jobs at once. The actual repair and the live streaming. All right, so now I have everything set up properly. Cool. All right, don't touch it. All right, so now we have some new people in the audience, so I'm going to repeat a little bit what I said. So we are doing a crack repair. I don't know if I can show it. No, because I just moved the guitar. But there is a fracture here. Okay, it's no longer an open fracture because I rehumidified the guitar. Now when the fracture closes, well, it's, you know, almost impossible to get the glue inside. So what I have here is some warm water, fish glue. Okay, so first the warmth makes it less viscous. And also, I'm going to add a little bit of water to dilute it. Okay? So that's going to be the part of the glue that's going to be used from the top to get it into the fracture. And I'm going to push the soundboard from inside to possibly open up a little bit that crack and push the glue inside. It is very important to wash your hands before this because you don't want any dirt to go into this fracture because it's going to show up. I mean, I can see the fracture because it's been open for a little while, but it's almost invisible. All right. So here, first, I want to add some water to this glue and start mixing. Now, this is just a small container from from some guitar parts, from All Parts. The brand All Parts sells guitar parts in, you know, containers like this. And I want it to be diluted so that I can force it into the crack. Now, obviously, that's going to be a very weak glue joint, which is one of the reasons why we are also going to be using cleats on the inside to reinforce the crack. Okay, this is better. Let it float. So the water is just warm, not hot. The cleats I'll be using are these Thompson cleats. All right. StewMac sells them. So they are strips of spruce in this case, because I'm fixing a spruce soundboard, and they are cut in a way that the growth rings end up in an almost 45-degree angle, at an angle of almost 45 degrees. Okay, so this reinforces this whole glue joint. So now I wanna test it with my finger. I think I can put just a little more water. It does smell like fish. So this is the first part, just to get some glue into the actual crack. Okay, there. Well, my hands will get messier, but I also don't want any fibers on my fingers. All right, here we go. We just put some glue on top. Just maybe a little more water. I want there to be more glue than I need, obviously, so that it doesn't dry up too quickly, and also so that I can kind of push it in. So the technique I'll be using is I'll push the soundboard up to open up that crack a little bit, and just kind of force it in with my clean finger. So this does take a minute. I don't spend too much time on it, but yeah, there. I also have this piece of tape that I want to remove from here. That's just my marker. Now here is already the bridge plate, so I can't really open that crack there. So I'm pushing between the braces. Obviously I can't push too hard because I don't want to blow through the soundboard. And maybe we want a little more glue, dilute it a bit more. All right, like that. I'm gonna work fairly quickly, although this is a fish glue, which gives me plenty of open time. And I can always reactivate it with water, no problem. So even if it dries up, actually it's not a problem. A little more work, but not a big problem. And I just need to use my own judgment in terms of, you know, how much time to spend on this. I do want to dilute it a little more. Yeah, I think this is better consistency. And I can see that the crack is opening up a little bit. As I'm pumping it. So I'm just pushing up and then releasing. Fish glue is a very friendly glue. You can always clean it up later. If you don't clean up the squeeze out, not a problem, it's water soluble. You can always reactivate the glue after it dries up if you want to add more glue, just with moisture. You don't even need heat. It's not as strong as hide glue, but it'll be strong enough for this. Just adding some more glue. I think I'm almost done with this. And here you can see from this view how I'm pushing the soundboard here as I am on the outside doing this, rubbing like this. And when I have a whole puddle of glue, I know I don't have a close-up view of this, but I can kind of see that it's moving, which is a good sign. It means that it's getting, that it's entering the crack. As the soundboard is kind of like breathing almost. So here I am. I can even push the brace if I want to. And this is enough now. Yeah. Okay. All right. I feel good about this. And now I just clean up this glue. Very easy. Like I said, because this glue is diluted and I don't really know how far it went down the crack, it's a very weak glue joint. Not very strong, which is what weak means. I don't really need to stress about cleaning this perfectly, but I am using a little water because it's easy, very easy to clean it later. Also, the water does make the wood fibers puff up a little bit, and now you can see the crack more, but it'll dry and it'll be almost invisible at some point. Okay, so now we're ready for phase 2. And I want that to happen fairly quickly. I'm just repositioning the camera a little bit. So in phase 2, we are going to place this on top here, and these are the cleats on the internal clamping caul. All right. So there are magnets. So the external clamping caul is my positioning clamping caul, which shows me exactly where the crack is. I can see through it. And this is my spacer here, like this. I can place it here. And I can even be a good idea, because I can see the crack better now. Make a little line here. So this is where the crack is. And I need tape. I'm going to tape it down. Okay. So I can see through. Tape it down on this side and here. Okay, cool. Like that. I'm using just a piece of wood and then this part here. So this external clamping caul is clear, but it also has a little scratch mark, like a straight line on the bottom side, and I just align that with the fracture. And the fracture is almost invisible. So I really need to be careful about the positioning. All right, so that's good. And now we can place this on the inside, but we need to put some glue here. I don't want to use this glue. This has been diluted. But what I can do is I can dump this here in the trash. And I can put some fresh glue. It's okay if I dilute it a little bit. So I'll put some fresh glue straight from the container and warm it up a little bit here. So here. Again, it's always a good idea to use more, to warm up more than you need when it's an open container like this, so it doesn't dry up too quickly. And I do want to make sure that it's the right consistency. So now it feels very viscous, but as it warms up, it's going to feel more, the viscosity is going to change. It's going to be more of a, runny than it is now. So some people keep the fish glue frozen or in the refrigerator. I do. That's the way to go, obviously. Keep the bulk of it frozen, and the smaller amount that you are going to be using on somewhat regular basis, you can put it in the fridge, I guess. Okay. So that's that. Now I can start applying the glue here. Oh, I did get some water inside the glue here, no problem. I kind of feel like I want to dilute it anyway. Just a little bit. This is good now, all right? So I used just this rubber cement, just 3 dots here, 2 dots here, 2 dots here to hold the cleats against the clamping caul. You can also use double-sided tape for this. I don't want to put too much glue, just enough to have good coverage. But obviously, we don't want to have too much squeeze out, because I can only apply it to this one surface. I cannot apply it to the inside. So we need a sufficient amount but not too much. So kind of have to use your own judgment on this one. And this is good, I think. I hope. Okay, let's work fast. Well, I wanted to show you this camera here. So now the magnets are going to find the exact position. That's it. I gotta make sure that we clear the bridge plate and just push it gently against this. And now we can start clamping. You gotta be very careful around the sound hole, but I did do some practice runs on this one. So here, and on the inside, we can see exactly where it goes over here. And we want it to be somewhere around here. And now I am just slowly tightening it. Now, as I recall, I actually had a, see, I almost forgot that. So this is just a guitar nut that I'm putting here temporarily. I had a little plate, which I have here. It's a piece of MDF. Goes over the bridge. Like that. All right. So I'm not going to clamp it hard just yet. And now we place this clamp here. And on this one, we go between the two braces over there. Right there. Okay. And I start clamping. Start tightening it. And the last one goes here. And this one is here. Okay, so now I am just tightening them gradually, making sure they don't move. And we are really approaching the end of this live stream. I'm monitoring on the screen what is happening on the inside. On the inside is pretty uneventful. Nothing should be moving now. But on the outside, I am definitely clamping this and tightening. I do have to use my best judgment. I want it to be fairly tight, not too tight. Yeah, and I think that's it, kids. So this went pretty quickly. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it all looks good and secure. Now we just leave it overnight. There is something else that I need to do here, so I'm also recording this, and in the official tutorial there will be something else that I'm not showing here. Okay, kids, so now I need to say goodbye because, like I said, I just need to do something else as well. So I'm on the clock, right? So thank you very much for watching. Dr. Scott says, what is your opinion on glue and guitar repairs? Why fish glue versus ultra thin super glues versus hide glue? Do you use suction cups to force it deep into the crack? Yeah, sometimes. Also, do they make veneers for cracks like this to fill the space? Not to my knowledge. You would have to make your own veneer. But I can't get into this right now. But doctor, you can join the Guitar Quackery forum. That's just guitarquackery.forum. You are asking good questions, but I can't get into it right now. So different glues for different jobs on guitars, right? There's no such thing as the best glue for guitars. There's like the best glue for a job, right? And I don't know that it really makes a big difference if I use the suction cup or the way I was just doing it now. When you open from the inside, you know, you're basically opening the crack like this. It's going to be a very weak glue joint anyway, and that's just how it is. But we're reinforcing it from the inside, and this can crack again. We know this guitar is susceptible to dryness, and I already explained to the owner of this guitar that this type of humidifier will have to be used throughout the winter. And I sent him a link to the one that really fits well here because these come in slightly different sizes. So I found the one that really fits well in the sound hole. Obviously I can't put it in now because of this. Oh, I also need to remove the light. Shouldn't forget about that. All right, kids. Yeah, so doctor, please join the forum, guitarquackery.forum, and I'll answer all your questions, no problem. Okay, but now I gotta go. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon.